Quite the difference out of cosplay, isn't it? I was asked by Turk Sung a few questions about myself. And question one is, so why did you pick young Rufus? Before Crisis is underappreciated, it is. So it's quite nice to see your choice in Rufus's. The short answer is there didn't seem to be any Before Crisis specific blogs for Rufus. And I'm really interested in the Before Crisis era, so I just decided I'll pick that timeline for Rufus's character. The long answer is I wanted to get a better feel for his character when he's that age. I'm probably wrong, but he's about maybe 18 or 19 and he funds Avalanche for a number of years. I think it's 2 or 3. You're welcome to correct me on this. And I like that he's probably, his age, I think his age shows in the segments that I've seen on YouTube, and he's a little bit more rude, and I think one of the biggest reasons I picked Before Crisis actually is because he's only a young teenager. Well, he's 18, 19, but he's still pretty young. And I would like to think that to choose to kill your own father, that I don't think he made such a decision so lightly, and he probably felt a little bit, he was determined, of course, and I also feel that he fully accepted the consequences of it. I would reckon that he was probably very surprised that his father spared him, because sometimes hatred does blind you very much. And President Shinra, while he is not the most brilliant of fathers, just like Eren Yeager's dad and Hohenheim in Full Metal Alchemist, there's a whole bunch of crappy dads. President Shinra still shows that he does care about Rufus, even if he does it in a terrible way. And some of it is to do with fan fiction as well that I am trying to write, and I want to get a better feel of Rufus's character, his reasons behind what he did in Before Crisis. It certainly goes beyond selfishness and the need to take control. The need to take control of the company, because there is perhaps a realization that there is a lot more going on than people realize. And Rufus might be doing it because he feels it's the only thing he can do, that it's the right thing to do. I also thought that he probably tried to keep the Turks out of the crossfire. And he certainly cares about them. But in that moment with Veld and the others discovering him in the coral reactor, and when he tells Avalanche to execute them, I would fathom that was a moment of panic, maybe, and that he feels that, right, if I'm arrested, I'm going to be executed, so it's either me or them. He was going to die anyway. But that probably wouldn't have been the case. I'd say if the Turks knew he was going to be executed, I reckon they would probably hide him away. But that's all headcanon on my part. The other thing too is President Shinra, in the scenes I've seen with him and Veld, like, Veld is the director of the Turks. He is one of the most senior members there. One of the most experienced and top-notch men. And the way President Shinra speaks to him it's like you're speaking to something that's under your shoe. And I would reckon that Rufus probably hated that, which is why he more than likely tried to keep the Turks out. But again, this is all speculation and headcanon on my part, because Before Crisis is quite... It wasn't released in America, so we unfortunately don't have a official translation. It could be completely different in English. That was a long answer, I'm sorry. The second question is, who is your favourite Turk? And my favourite Turk is Rude. He is adorable. I would marry him in a heartbeat. He's tall, he's big, and my God, those eyes. In Advent Children, when Reno broke his glasses, those eyes, they're like, I don't know. You can tell that he wears the sunglasses for a reason. You know, to make him look a bit more harder, because he has very pretty eyes. But I would have to put up with Reno if I married Rude. That might not be so bad. But yes, Rude is my absolute favourite. The reason being, I think, despite being a Turk, it's the same with Barrett as well. I think despite their actions, they are characters who take responsibility for what they've done, and they don't pretend to be good people. They don't ignore what they've done, and they take responsibility for what they've done. And they are very solid characters in that sense. And I mean, Barrett he has one of the saddest storylines in FF7, and I will admit I kind of half still wish that he was the leader of Avalanche, but that's how FF7 was played out. The third question is, what is the favourite Final Fantasy VII moment? My favourite, I love the game as a whole, but my absolute favourite is the escape from Junon, for a myriad of reasons. You play as Barrett, you play as Cid, you play as Tifa, and you play as I enjoy playing the other characters, and I wish that option was more readily available, because as Cloud is my favourite character, one of my favourite characters I should say, but I liked that because each character had their own storyline, I would have loved to have played as them for a little bit in the game. But getting back to the answer, I loved Junon because I actually thought it was great fun gameplay wise. Storyline wise, it was while you play, the storyline is unfolding and so much chaos is happening. You've got weapons attacking, you have an insight to Shinra's fortress, you have Rufus trying to stop Weapon, you have the Sister Ray. It's a very, very exciting scene. It's just one of my absolute favourite bits. Junon is my favourite part, and I have replayed it so many times. The action, storyline, and a headcanon of mine is when Tifa runs across the Sister Ray, the barrel of the Sister Ray. I think it's Ares or Aerith, whichever way you prefer to say it. I think when she runs across the cannon and hears that voice, I think it's Ares telling her to jump, because she'll be saved, and because Barrett is so far down below, I don't think it's him yelling it because he wouldn't be heard, and I think it's just part of the whole mythological aspect. And it wouldn't and I think my theory might be backed up a bit, because in Advent Children, Tifa, she feels Ares' presence, and she was saying, you know, you've always been with us, haven't you? And I like Tifa and Ares as friends, so I think that is a nice part of the ending to that particular part of the game. Final question, and that was a very long answer. Final question. Tell us something about yourself, non-Final Fantasy VII related. Ugh. I'm not a very exciting person, to be honest. Let me think a moment. On my personal blog, Thrasher Shell, I've stated that I'm 27 years old, and I am from Ireland, in case the accent isn't obvious enough. And a stereotype of Irish people is that we drink a lot. And unfortunately that's true. Not as bad as people think, but unfortunately that's true. I don't. I have met others who don't drink either, and it's purely just for personal reasons. But that's one, I suppose, something about myself. I am a college student as well. I'm in my final year. I'm somewhat terrified. But I'm nearly finished. Thank God I'm nearly finished. Now, I've talked enough. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for all of the questions. I was very, very flattered at how many I've been asked. Oh my God. And I was also asked to do something quite different, so look forward to that as well. There'll be another video and something else after this. But I'd like to thank Albedo Soina, honour of Angel Hewley, an anonymous person. She know who she is. A Crimson Devil, Miss Amon, and Turk Song, who was the inspiration to me doing this. So thank you, Turk Song. And I hope my Rufus was sufficient. I'm not sure I'm not sure how people would feel with Rufus having a effeminate Irish accent. But hope everyone enjoyed.